Today's game is being broadcast in Spanish where available using the SAP button on your television. Let's bring in the third member of our crew down to the field, and Evan Washburn.
The Lions, since the first time he stepped into the league 2 years ago, it's been pretty clear that Khalil Mack is a special talent. And if you need an example, look at last week's performance. Constant pressure on Cam Newton. The pick six right before half, and then the strip sack, fumble recovery to seal the win. Now he faces a banged-up Bills offensive line that's given up the fifth most sacks in the NFL. We'll see what he has for an encore. Guys?
All right, Evan, thanks very much. Max said that the strip sack is the best feeling in football for a defensive player. The pick six is nice, but the strip sack, that's what they're all gunning for.
Yeah, financially it's a lot better because of those performance clauses. No question. To knock the ball away from the center, from the quarterback as he did, and then to recover it, that's the hat trick for a defensive end.
Buffalo Bills won the toss. They deferred to the second half. We're underway in Oakland. Carpenter the kickoff. Richard, he catches it back of the end zone, takes a knee, 25-yard line for Oakland. Derek Carr, he's in the MVP conversation, and the numbers tell part of the story. The leadership and the poise, the other part.
Yeah, you can see the tape on the right little finger, and I think that might be a mistake because if he had a glove, he'd have a consistent surface to which to grab the ball. With the tape, it's different than his other fingers, obviously.
Carr will open up an extra offensive lineman. Vidal Alexander, the rookie out of LSU, is the sixth on the line. Crabtree, motion man, out of the pistol. Running play, Murray. Up the middle, Murray spins to the 30. 5-yard gain for Latavius Murray. Ihedebo in on the stop. Starting offense, this offensive line. Dallas gets most of the attention. Rodney Hudson leads a very impressive group. Reggie McKenzie has put together the fifth-year GM of the Raiders. Backs and receivers, Amari Cooper closing in on back-to-back 1,000-yard receiving seasons to open his career. Murray remains in there. Carr will operate out of the gun. Oakland, one of the best offenses in the NFL. Murray gets stacked up and driven backwards. Brandon Spikes leading the way for Buffalo. No gain on the play for Murray. Defensively for the Buffalo Bills, they come in ranked 10th overall. Adolphus Washington, a lot of time for him. Injury to Corbin Bryant, he's done for the season. Lorenzo Alexander from Berkeley, California. He was an Oakland Raider last year, having his bust-out season in his 10th year in the NFL. And Kevon Seymour, rookie out of USC, California guy from Pasadena, starting here for Buffalo. Flags come down. Both of these teams highly penalized groups. Oakland the most in the NFL, Buffalo sixth most in the league.
Yeah, good hard count from the shotgun from Derek Carr, which is not easy to do, but he got Marcel Darius, he got Jerry Hughes, and he got Kyle Williams.
Defense number 95. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Tell Bill Vinovich the call. It is enough for a first down. They'll move the chains for Oakland. Carr gets Buffalo to jump. The veteran Kyle Williams in there. High praise from Latavius Murray, who said Williams one of the best defensive players he's ever gone up against. Last time these two teams played, Murray said Williams was in the backfield playing play again. Carr darts one underneath, and it's incomplete. Looking for Michael Rivera. So it'll be 2nd and 10 for Oakland.
But all three plays so far and from the shotgun. So Carr obviously aware of how excruciating that pain was, not willing to go under center yet. And he's got to avoid any type of contact to that little finger. Remember, the Bills come in with 33 sacks on the season.
Jack Del Rio talking about Carr, telling us that they've given him more freedom at the line, let him be himself. They've encouraged him to be more aggressive. He's taken them up on that offer. Carr sets it up downfield, and he floats it out of bounds. Rivera again, the intended receiver. Nickel Roby-Coleman, the nickel, in there for Buffalo. Sets up 3rd and 10 now for Oakland. First possession of the day.
This is what Buffalo wants to do. They want to make Carr hold the ball and put pressure on him right up the middle. That time they did that. They forced him out of the pocket, and good coverage by Nickel Roby-Coleman to force Rivera all the way out of bounds, trying to chase that out overthrow.
Rex Ryan said Carr gets rid of it quickly, doesn't get sacked often. In fact, the least amount of sacks given up in the NFL, just 13 by this offensive line. Play clock down to 1. Carr gets the snap off. A flag comes down. Carr downfield makes the connection. Amari Cooper. Cooper, the angle, tripped up inside the 15. The penalty marker thrown. Corey Graham on the chase down for Buffalo.
It's going to be against Oakland, so this great play on the first drive for the Raiders is going to come all the way back. Illegal procedure.
Illegal formation. Offense. After a warning, number 77 was not on the line of scrimmage. Replay third down.
So Austin Howard, the right tackle, too far in the backfield. Here he is right here. You can see the difference. He's got to be in a straight line there with his right guard, Gabe Jackson. Apparently he was warned earlier in the series, according to Bill Vinovich. Did not heed that warning.
So a 51-yard catch and run is nullified after the penalty on Howard. Back at the 30-yard line now.
That's the other thing, Ian, is it takes the Raiders back 5 yards and sets up a real long third down situation.
3rd and 15 for Oakland. From the gun. Floats it on the screen. Murray redirects. And it won't be nearly enough. Lorenzo Alexander, first man there, and then he got help from his teammates. 5 yards on the dump-off.
Well, the one guy that Murray told us yesterday has to concern himself with is Kyle Williams. You can see him standing up here. But watch how he recognizes this screen. Fights off the block of Rodney Hudson and forces Murray back into the traffic in the middle of the field.
So the Raiders will punt. Marquette King, who's having a Pro Bowl-type season, will kick it to Brandon Tate. Tate had a 43-yard punt return in the second quarter last week in that victory over Jacksonville. King, NFL leading 25 punts of 50 yards or more. Fair catch called for. It'll be inside the 20. That's a 47-yard boot for King. Bills will have the football for the first time when we return to the Bay Area. Buffalo Bills at 6-5. Tyrod Taylor, their starting quarterback. Taylor, just 4 interceptions this season, 11 touchdowns. He's never thrown for more than 300 yards in a game in his career. A lot of that has to do with the fact that they've got a great rushing attack, and he's a big part of it, leading rusher amongst NFL quarterbacks this season. Fake the handoff. Taylor out of the pocket, looking downfield. Taylor connects, and it's Sammy Watkins. Watkins back from the injury, still dealing with that left foot, but he's playing through it. 16 yards and a first down for Buffalo. Starting offense for the Bills. On the offensive line, Ryan Groy continues to start at center. They lost Eric Wood, done for the year with a broken leg. And backs and receivers, Nick O'Leary in for Charles Clay. Did not make the trip. His wife gave birth to a child earlier this morning. Justin Hunter also in there for Buffalo, and Taylor is off the mark on the throw.
Yeah, he expressed to us yesterday that today against the Raiders, he must do as has all year long, and that's take care of the ball, and that the Bills need some explosive plays. Having Sammy Watkins back, obviously, he feels confident the Bills can take some deep shots early to try to get ahead of the Raiders.
2nd and 10 now from the 35 for Buffalo. 28-21 win over Jacksonville last week. They were down 7-6 at the half, had just 63 yards of offense at the break. Working out of the gun, Taylor swings it. McCoy after the catch, and he veers out of bounds for the Bills. Chased down by Malcolm Smith on the play, 8 yards, catch and run. Starting defense for Oakland, Khalil Mack, AFC Defensive Player of the Week, AFC Defensive Player of the Month, could be the NFL Defensive Player of the Year. Perry Riley Jr. is back in. He was inactive last week with a hamstring injury. And David Amerson is back. Amerson missed last week's game with a knee injury. DJ Hayden placed on IR with a hamstring. Jonathan Williams in, flanking Taylor on 3rd and 2. Taylor has time. Taylor, hot throw to Watkins. Sammy Watkins has got a first down. What a difference maker he is for this Buffalo offense. Missed 8 straight games because of the foot injury.
Working against David Amerson. Man-to-man coverage here. Watch the sharp cut ball halfway to him from Tyrod Taylor. Perfect timing there for the first down. All passes so far for the Bills. With Charles Clay out there going with more 3 wide receiver sets.
So going against the scouting report, Buffalo comes in averaging 157.4 yards per game on the ground, best in the league. Taylor, again, good angle there for McCoy. Covered by Khalil Mack. You talk about talent in that one-on-one matchup, McCoy and Mack. That's 10 yards.
Well, the Bills would love to see this all day long. Mack dropping into man-to-man coverage on LaShawn McCoy instead of rushing Tyrod Taylor. McCoy too quick for Khalil Mack on the outside. It brings up a 2nd and short. Or is it a first down?
They're going to measure it. It's close. It is right on that line to gain. Bills are playing without Robert Woods. He's out with a knee injury. Percy Harvin sitting again, dealing with migraines. So the wide receiver spot has been thin throughout the year because of that injury to Watkins. Everybody moved up a spot, including Marquise Goodwin, seeing more action than he ever had in his previous 2 years in the league. Extend it. Out of the way, sir.
First down.
Good enough. They'll move the chains. Line of scrimmage is now the 31 in Oakland territory. Rex Ryan decided to bring the team out yesterday late. Didn't build in the extra day of travel. They did some research, determined either you have to go to the West Coast very early, 4 or 5 days early, or just go late. Treat it like it's a normal road trip. That's what they did. On a 1st and 10 from the 31. Play fake. Taylor steps up. Taylor on a line. Jumbo and a catch. Justin Hunter. He's been a touchdown maker for Buffalo, and they're trying to work him into the offense on a larger scale. 22 yards.
Yeah, working against TJ Carey on the crossing route. Ball perfectly thrown and really good concentration by Hunter to hang with this ball. Carey may have got a finger on it to deflect it up to his shoulder pad, but another passing play and another successful one for Buffalo.
6 plays, 6 passes for Buffalo. Set up 1st and goal at the 9. From the pistol, running play McCoy. Hit from the side and brought down. Perry Riley Jr. limiting McCoy to a 3-yard gain on the play, going straight up the gut.
Yeah, McCoy misses this hole. This is the hole over here. And as he gets to the line of scrimmage, you can see that big gap there. But that's LaShawn McCoy. He's willing to take losses because at times he turns those losses into big gains. Missed the hole that time.
8th play of the drive for Buffalo. Trying to get on the board. Play fake. Taylor tosses. McCoy cannot get there. Perry Riley Jr. saves the touchdown for Oakland. It's 3rd and goal, a 3-yard pickup.
Yeah, Perry Riley Jr. ran a long way, too. He's a middle linebacker on the top of the screen. You can see him fight through traffic there and get McCoy at the 2-yard line. Good job here by Jerome Felton to take Mack out of the play.
Over 6 minutes on the drive. 3rd and goal for Buffalo. Gillislee is in. Fake it to him. Taylor trying to get out of trouble. Brought down by Bruce Irvin. They get to the quarterback, and they force Buffalo into a field goal attempt.
That's Irvin's 5th sack of the season, and it keeps the Bills out of the end zone. He gets blocked originally by Gillislee, but the hustle to get off the ground and get to the quarterback. Goodwin on the post route is open momentarily. Taylor does not see him, and he does not see a lot of receivers over the middle.
Irvin signed the big deal during the offseason from Seattle. 4 years, $37 million. And Dan Carpenter knocks through a 27-yard field goal. Buffalo takes the lead at the 8:02 mark of the first. The Bills and the Raiders. More first quarter action when we come back. Back here in Bump City, the Raiders and the Bills. Oakland at 9-2, Buffalo at 6-5. A long drive. First possession of the day for Buffalo. 10 plays, 72 yards. Carpenter caps it off with a 27-yard field goal, and now he'll kick it off for Buffalo with Jalen Richard, the deep man. Richard is averaging 24.6 yards per return with a long of 50. It's just the third time in the last 16 years the Bills have been 6-5 or better this late in the season. Carpenter's kick sails 7 yards deep. And Richard takes the knee. Well, for the Oakland Raiders, what a story this has been. Back to prominence, 9-2 record. 5-game winning streak is the longest since 2002. Their last 6-game winning streak was going back to 2000. Trying to get to the postseason for the first time since 2002. The second longest active drought in the NFL. The Buffalo Bills have the longest. Haven't been there since 1999. Raiders open up 1st and 10 at the 25. Once again, 6 offensive linemen for Oakland. Pistol here for Carr and Murray behind him. Give it to Murray. He's got room. Murray takes it to the outside and a first down. Impressive run by Murray. Osemele and Penn on that left side spring him free for 22.
He starts out here and then uses his vision to get to the weak side. You can see the stunt there by the Bills taking themselves out of the play. And Murray, the long strider, and a good stiff arm at the end of the play, but this missed tackle by Corey Graham opened the door for Murray to get that good gain on first down.
Murray gave a lot of credit to offensive line coach Mike Tice and the job that he has done with that group, close-knit as he called it. And they're playing at a high level. Stop and go by Murray, plunges into the hole. And wrestled down after the gain of 1. Preston Brown and Jerry Hughes combined to bring down the tall Latavius Murray at 6'3". There is Mike Tice. He's been around this game a long time, former head coach of the Minnesota Vikings.
And former Maryland quarterback. The greatest quarterback in Maryland history until Boomer Esiason came along.
I was waiting for the butt. Or you were going to get a phone call at halftime.
Did you call Boomer a butt?
No, never. Not to his face. 2nd and 9 here for Oakland. Michael Crabtree in motion. Once again out of the gun. Rush coming. Carr gets with it. Popped up in the air off the hands of Amari Cooper. And it's incomplete. Get the CBS Sports app for inside access to breaking news and expert analysis of your favorite team. It has everything you need. Download the CBS Sports app today. Dan, we looked at the numbers. Oakland has worked out of the shotgun this season 76.8% of the time.
Yeah, maybe 100% of the time today with that bad little finger of Carr's.
We have not seen Carr under center yet. 3rd and 9. And the rush. Carr perfectly placed to Rivera. Big gain, first down. Oakland in to Buffalo territory at the 26. 26-yard hookup.
Well, this is 2 plays in a row that Buffalo brings extra pressure here. And this time, man-to-man coverage. Carr has a nice pocket to step up and a good double move down the field by Rivera. He gets behind Corey White. And Carr is right on target.
So Michael Rivera has been involved early. Buffalo leads Oakland 3-0. Jalen Richard is in. He gets the call. Richard towards the perimeter. And a flag down. Tackled by Corey White. Raiders are retreating after the 7-yard pickup.
Looked like Seth Roberts is a guilty party
Holding.
here.
Offense number 74. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's Vidal Alexander. Seth Roberts working out of the slot. There he is right here. This is how Richard gets to the outside with that hook around the neck of Jerry Hughes.
Well, Dan, you were right about Roberts as well. They could have taken their pick with Alexander or Roberts. Mike Tice now coaching up the rookie out of LSU, 7th-round draft pick. Penalties, most in the NFL. It's a recurring theme for Oakland. We asked Jack Del Rio about it. Del Rio said it's going to take some time for the officials to see that they're a disciplined, good football team. Sometimes reputation can affect point of view.
Well, and perception. I mean, this is the Raiders after all, and they have a history of playing, beyond the rules at some times, but it will take a long time to erase that type of perception, and you do that by not creating penalties.
Well, we'll have a penalty here. Carr pointing at Buffalo.
Yeah, I think Jerry Hughes jumped in the neutral zone.
Defense number 55. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
It is Hughes, 7-year veteran.
And that's 2 defensive penalties against the Bills.
74 is eligible.
With Carr drawing first Kyle Williams offsides, and this time Jerry Hughes with a good hard count.
The Ryan brothers ready for this one. Rob still has a place in his heart for the Oakland Raiders. Loved Al Davis, coached here for a number of years. And up, Richard runs into a crowd, and he is hit by Preston Brown. 2-yard pickup for Jalen Richard, the rookie out of Southern Mississippi. Rex said that Rob would talk to Mr. Davis, and Al would throw out a couple things here and there, and Rob would then think about it and say, wow, he was right.
Well, with Mr. Davis's experience as an assistant coach, first for Sid Gilman in San Diego, and then obviously working his way through commissionership, head coach, and obviously the boss here in Oakland. Tremendous football mind.
Line of scrimmage is now the 29. Oakland is on the move. They trail 3-0. Carr out of the pocket will throw on the run. Drop ball. Sideline toss to Amari Cooper. It couldn't be handled. It's incomplete. And it's 3rd and 13 for the Raiders. Kevon Seymour drawing the coverage.
You won't see this very often, but Amari Cooper working the sideline here. May have been more concerned with where his feet were than with catching the ball. Looked like he was looking down as that ball got to him.
Carr is 2 out of 6 to open up 31 yards. Playing with that dislocated pinky on his throwing hand.
Yeah, Beetlejuice is here.
Is he here?
Yeah, end zone. Black hole.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Incomplete. Murray, the intended target. The Bills defense holds up, and Zach Brown one-on-one with Latavius Murray. Well, that's not Beetlejuice.
That's got to hurt. He's an acupuncture specialist.
Yeah, heard that works. Good luck to him. Janikowski on for the field goal, looking at a 47-yarder. Sebastian Janikowski, 55 field goals in his career of 50 yards or more. That's an all-time NFL record. 47 yards away. Oh, that's a chip shot. The Raiders' all-time leading scorer has put Oakland on the board. We're knotted up at 3 apiece in the first. The Raiders held a moment of silence before today's game to recognize the victims of the deadly fire at a warehouse and artist collective here in Oakland on Friday night. At least 24 people were killed, with fears of more victims still to be found as recovery efforts continue. The Raiders and the Oakland A's have joined to support the victims and their families, with the Raiders pledging $30,000 in aid. You can go to Raiders.com to learn how you can help. We send our thoughts and our prayers to the loved ones of those lost. Raiders and the Bills tied at 3 with 4:35 remaining in this first quarter. Important early December matchup for these two teams. Oakland is trying to keep pace with the New England Patriots for the #1 seed in the AFC, and the Bills trying to stay in the hunt for the playoffs. Returnable for Tate, ridden down as he hit the 20-yard line. Andre Holmes on special teams. Told you how good this team is running the football. Passing the ball, not as much. They are #1 in rushing. They are last in the NFL in passing yards. Look through the years. The Atlanta Falcons in 06, Baltimore in 03, and Buffalo twice in franchise history in the 70s and the 60s.
And it looks like by their play selection, they're trying to correct that all today.
We're going against the scouting report. With Taylor throwing the football 7 times, McCoy has 1 carry. Tate sets up behind Taylor. They give it to McCoy. Tried to weave through traffic. There was nothing there, and he picks up a yard. That's it for Shady McCoy. Brandon Jackson, rookie that was just called up from the practice squad out of Texas Tech, makes the stop for Oakland.
Yeah, the Oakland ground crew ripped up this middle of the field after the game against Carolina. A lot of slipping in that game. The field looks in excellent condition now, but you can see the lighter grass right down the middle is all brand new as of Monday.
Yeah, the footing was a problem against Carolina last week. A 35-32 thriller for the Raiders. Taylor, short drop, quick throw. And it's Gerald Christian. He was just called up from the practice squad. He has suited up for the Bills on a couple of occasions this season. Rookie out of Louisville. A shot from fellow rookie Carl Joseph out of West Virginia.
Now watch the power after the catch as he splits the tacklers there and then takes a shot at Joseph. Good for 14 yards on your first catch.
New set of downs for the Bills. 1st and 10 at the 35. It's a run. McCoy. That hop step from McCoy turns into a 1.5-yard pickup. Perry Riley Jr. will get credit for the stop. Let's check in with Evan.
Well, guys, just a little bit more on the footing on this field. It's below sea level, so whether it's dry, whether it's rained, it's always a concern in terms of slippage. I spoke with Tyrod Taylor about it. He goes through an extensive warm-up. He felt comfortable with it. Remember, these guys have custom cleats on this week. There's an idea about putting studs in. At this point, nobody has switched.
That's right, Evan. The NFL's My Clause, My Cleats initiative. Taylor on time. Brandon Tate seeing more action on offense because of all the injuries, and the veteran hauls it in for 12 yards.
And it's a rare completion over the middle for Taylor, but it's a good route underneath. He kind of felt the zone right there. Kind of choked his motor a little bit, gave quarterback a clean target, and with the protection that Taylor got, easy completion.
E.J. Manuel is in. Taylor sets up as a receiver.
Come back. Yep.
Manuel operating out of the gun. Giving the Raiders a different look. They hand it to McCoy. McCoy with a juke move along the sideline, then takes a shot from Riley, and he knew afterwards that it might have been late, trying to talk his way out of it, and no flag thrown.
I mean, he was a good 3 yards out of bounds when hit by Riley.
May have a future as a lawyer. McCoy is out here. There's the shot. He tries to hold him up.
I think by holding him up, that was his best argument.
Baby man.
2nd and 2. Taylor back at quarterback. Gillislee behind him. Gillislee gets the call. Acceleration by Gillislee. Breaks a tackle. Gillislee's got speed. And forced out of bounds. Amerson along the sideline. Ryan Groy with a key block, and Gillislee turns it into a 29-yard rip for Buffalo.
Well, let's check out the key block by Groy, because he's going to run right off his right hip here. He does a good job of just walking Ellis down the line of scrimmage. But Gillislee's a one-cut runner, too. Puts his foot in the ground and has that speed you were talking about, Ian.
Former Miami Dolphin, who was drafted in the 5th round in 2013. Gillislee thrown down inside the 10. Buffalo threatening once again. We're tied at 3 with under a minute to go in the first. 5-yard pickup for Mike Gillislee as Ellis and Jihad Ward combined to bring him down.
Yeah, really a good 1-2 punch, and if you add Jonathan Williams, it's a 1-2-3 punch. Both Williams and Gillislee, bigger backs, more straight-ahead runners than McCoy. So the system is working now, as we're seeing why the Bills are the leading rushing team in the NFL.
And top 5 in red zone offense. 2nd and 5. Taylor on the move. It's an option. Toss. McCoy. He's out of bounds, but McCoy working that sideline very close to a first down. Carl Joseph, the rookie safety over there, 14th pick in the draft.
Jack Del Rio said that defending the Bills' rushing offense is like defending a college team. A lot of option plays, the zone read. That was just a speed option that time, and a mobile quarterback especially dangerous here closer you get to the goal line.
This is a 3rd and 1, just 2 seconds left in the quarter. They blow the whistle, and that'll do it.
That is the end of the first quarter.
So Buffalo will face a 3rd and 1 deep in Oakland territory as we start the second quarter. 3-3 after 1. We'll come back to Oakland after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Dodge. Domestic, not domesticated. And by FedEx, helping small businesses simplify e-commerce.
Back in the Bay Area, feel like we saw basically every piece of land that you could see yesterday driving around to our various meetings, Dan.
Amazing, the traffic was so smooth too.
Yes.
When you're going 20 miles an hour, it just seems like time flies, doesn't it?
And Eagle Dan Fouts, Evan Washburn, the rest of our NFL on CBS crew. The Buffalo Bills and the Oakland Raiders tied at 3 as we start the second quarter, and Buffalo has a 3rd and 1 at the Oakland 5. Gillislee and Reggie Bush now in for Buffalo.
Go Jordan's money. Go Jordan's money.
Sammy Watkins could be a red zone target here. Hand it off. A blast up the middle. And the push. Gillislee trying to take it to the goal line. He would not go down. Reggie Nelson forcing him the other way. He did get enough for the first down.
Yeah, just power straight ahead. I almost feel sorry for running backs when they're in this situation. The defense is trying to get him out of the end zone. The offensive line coming. Look, he's almost being choked here by the football. Stood straight up, but he didn't get the first down.
10th play of the drive. Buffalo trying to take the lead. They're staring right into the black hole. Felton in front of Gillislee. Felton plowing. Felton trying to push it over the goal line. Didn't get there.
A good penetration by the Raiders. You can see the left side there, Danico Autry getting through. And then the linebackers, you see James and Riley Jr. right there. That's a safe call on first down, but I wouldn't think they'd do it again.
Going against this Ken Norton Jr. defense. 2nd and goal. Gillislee powers through for the touchdown. The Bills take the lead early stages second quarter. Mike Gillislee is 5th rushing touchdown of the season.
Now they go weak side with this to the left. Incognito comes out and kicks out Irvin. Fullback Felton does his job, leading Gillislee into the end zone. Watch 42 Felton on Perry. No penetration at all for the Raiders that time.
4 carries, 39 yards, and a touchdown for Gillislee. Taylor guides the Bills down the field, mixing in more of the run in the second drive, as opposed to Buffalo's first possession. John Carpenter, the extra point. It's a 10-3 lead for Buffalo. 13:28 to go. First half in Oakland. Mike Gillislee was dealing with a hamstring issue. No trouble on that front in the first half. 11 plays, 80 yards. It took 6 minutes and 8 seconds. Gillislee caps it off with a 1-yard touchdown. Now Carpenter will kick it to Jalen Richard. That is not in good shape there, Dan.
I think they either ran out of money, did not go all the way to the goalposts, or just decided that 100 yards of resodding was enough, but that may have affected the Raiders' chances of stopping the Bills from the 1-yard line.
Richard's going to take it out. Richard slowed down and then dropped just short of the 20-yard line by Lorente McCray. Derek Carr, he has been the undisputed leader of this Oakland offense and in the MVP conversation right now. His team's in a 10-3 hole. 38th all-time meeting between the Raiders and the Bills. Derek Carr and the Raiders off to a 9-2 start. First time since 2000. That year they finished 12-4. Taiwan Jones in the backfield. And Carr will toss it to him. In stride, Jones makes a cut and hit from behind. Good enough for a first down across the 30-yard line.
That's been a rough start for Derek Carr so far. His first pass was dropped here by Rivera. Then he overshoots Cooper on a screen pass. Cooper can't make the catch along the sideline, and then a misconnection there. But he did have a 51-yard pass to Cooper earlier that was wiped out by a holding call.
Carr said the biggest jump this year has just been the preparation is like second nature to him. He can handle so much more. The game within the game is slowed down. Hand off to Murray. Murray hit after the game of 1. And the maturation of Carr. He came in already with that savvy and that presence as a rookie. They weren't winning a whole lot of games, but you could tell that guys were following him. And the improvement from year 1 to year 2, year 2 to year 3, the numbers getting better and the victories going up.
And being able to handle the expectations throughout the year. A lot of people like the Raiders' chances at the beginning of the year, so they were expected to win. And he has done just that, especially with the road victories and the come-from-behind wins.
His fourth quarter numbers have been through the roof. Tight window, and he slings it in there to Crabtree. At the 40-yard line, 8 yards, and just short of a first down.
Yeah, look at Carr. He sees Crabtree on the hook route right over the middle. Did a nice job of working his way up into the pocket. Lorenzo Alexander with his 10 sacks comes in just a little bit late, but does send a message to his former teammate.
And those two have remained very close. Carr told us that he talks to Alexander once a week. Alexander last season with the Oakland Raiders as a core special teamer. Opportunity with Buffalo to play on the defensive side. He's had the best year of his career. Murray trying to spin for the first down. He didn't get it. On a 3rd and 1, Oakland could not provide the necessary push. And the rookie Shaq Lawson in on the play for Buffalo. What do you do here? We know that Jack Del Rio has taken a lot of risks this season, but the ball's at the 40-yard line.
Well, the job by the number 2 tackler on the team. Here comes Preston Brown here. He's going to force Murray to jump to the outside where the penetration and the pursuit will keep him from getting that first down. Great job by Preston Brown.
The Raiders will kick it with Marquette King. Brandon Tate standing at his own 15-yard line for Buffalo. High punt, sailing over the head of Tate. This ball hit at the 1 and it works its way into the end zone. 60-yard punt, but a net of 40. Buffalo with the lead in the football when we come back.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. McDonald's. I'm loving it. And by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV.
Well, that's a first, Dan.
Yeah, don't think I ever would see myself in the black hole.
Why not? You look good in there.
No, I don't feel good, though. You're surrounded by strange people.
10-3 lead for Buffalo. The resurgence of this proud franchise, the Oakland Raiders at 9-2. Bills are at 6-5. Taylor hits Nick O'Leary on the catch. And O'Leary works his way towards the sideline for 8. Tonight, what does the Speaker of the House think he and President-elect Donald Trump will be able to get done for America? Find out from Paul Ryan only on 60 Minutes tonight. Dan Tyrod Taylor is 9 of 10, 110 yards. Gillislee has the rushing touchdown. Buffalo has a 7-point lead.
And they've had 2 long drives, 10-play drive to start the game, went 72 for a field goal. Then they went 11 plays, 80 yards, and got the touchdown.
2nd and 2. McCoy bounces off the tackle initially. Works it to the other side. McCoy, shake and bake move. LeSean McCoy out of bounds. First down. Good block from Reggie Bush. 14 yards for McCoy.
Well, very few players can do this in the NFL. In fact, he reminds so many people, and myself included, of the great Barry Sanders, the Hall of Famer, that has the ability to make people miss, but also sets up blocks and does the totally ad lib on so many plays to pick up big yards.
Rex Ryan said, McCoy, he can make you miss in a phone booth. He's so different than any other running back that he has ever seen. McCoy again, straight line. And hit from behind, which gives him an extra yard on the play. Carl Joseph in on the stop, 6-yard gain. Dan Williams also in on the tackle.
Talked about the hot hand of Tyrod Taylor. It doesn't get much better than that. Said he never had a 300-yard game. Well, he's well on his way today, and Derek Carr still trying to find the rhythm.
Taylor said that he really liked the matchups on the outside and expected there to be deep balls in the mix in the play selection from Anthony Lynn, the offensive coordinator. Taylor. Oh, he gets brought down. James Cowser, the rookie out of Southern Utah.
Now, this is a case of running into a sack. Cowser with his first NFL sack, but Taylor does him a favor. Look at the right side of the screen. A good job that time by Mills initially, but Taylor ran right to number 47. Sean Smith with press coverage on Sammy Watkins does a real good job. And then Emerson on Goodwin closes quickly.
So the first career sack for Cowser puts Buffalo into a 3rd and 14. Play action. Taylor steps up. Taylor looking to run. And Taylor has room. Flags from behind. Taylor gets out of bounds. 2 flags thrown at the 35.
Yeah, they're going to get Richie Incognito.
Holding. Offense number 64. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
And a 20-yard run is taken away from Buffalo on the call.
Here's Incognito. He does a good job initially, but again, once Taylor breaks the pocket, Incognito has no idea that he's going to be going to the outside. So when the defender there, Autry, moves, Incognito holds him. Wipes out a huge play by Tyrod Taylor. 20 yards on the run, called back.
3rd and 24 for Buffalo. And the crowd re-energized here in Oakland. Jonathan Williams in. They'll protect for Taylor. Taylor couldn't dump it off. Curls the other way. Fires low on a bounce. Incomplete. Marquise Goodwin in the vicinity for Buffalo. Bruce Irvin put the heat on Taylor. And it's 4th down.
Yeah, there's one reason why Tyrod Taylor has only thrown 4 interceptions. He trusts his legs perhaps more than his arms at time. And that time, just so many yards to try to pick up. Avoided the interception along the sideline.
Richard, the deep man, McGill in front of him. And the punt from Colton Schmidt. That one sails out of bounds, and they're going to walk down the sideline to mark it. Through traffic. 40. Nope, now he's backing up. 38-yard line. Rare that you see him go in reverse.
He was moonwalking, wasn't he?
33-yard punt.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Duracell. The ones you trust are always there. Collateral Beauty from New Line Cinema in theaters December 16th. And by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM.
Beautiful day by the Bay. AFC playoff picture, up-to-date standings. New England at 10-2. Oakland trying to get there here this afternoon. Buffalo 6-5. There are a bunch of teams vying for that wild card spot as the Raiders take over. 1st and 10 at the 39. Fake it to Murray and flip it to Cooper. Cooper bottled up. It'll be a loss on the play. Amari Cooper could not turn the corner on Stephon Gilmore. And Shaq Lawson over there as well. Loss of 1.
Yeah, the Raiders' rushing attack is really out of sync, and I think that being in the shotgun has affected the timing of the rushing attack. That time trying a trick play, they're going to lose a yard on the play.
So 2nd and 11 now for Oakland. Derek Carr is 4 out of 9, 51 yards. Came into the game 5th in the NFL in passing yards, put up 315 last week. Give us to Murray. Busting through, it's Murray. Gabe Jackson, the only draft pick by the Raiders that starts on the offensive line. The rest have been free agents. That's an 11-yard gain.
Now, good mobility by Jackson to lead Murray up into this hole. He's going to kick out on Brown. And best running play for the Raiders in quite a while.
It is enough to move the chains. We count it down to the 6-minute mark of the second quarter. Buffalo leading 10-3 on Oakland. Operating exclusively out of the gun. Carr on first down. A run to Murray. Not much there. Give him a pickup of 2. They put a lot of money invested into this offensive line with Donald Penn, 2 years, $14 million deal. Osemele, 5 years, $60 million. Hudson, 5 years, $44 million. Jackson, a draft pick. And then Austin Howard, a 5-year, $30 million deal. Quick hitter. Michael Crabtree getting involved. Crabtree out of bounds, 4-yard catch and run. Kevon Seymour cutting off the angle.
Yeah, that offensive line is getting the recognition now. Getting mentioned along with Dallas as a dominant offensive line, and the great headline in the Chronicle this morning, block and silver. Not black and silver, block and silver.
I got it. Thanks for explaining it. So that's an offensive line reference, the block thing?
Well, I had to enunciate.
Yes, well done. 3rd and 4. Carr, deep ball. Nobody home and a flag thrown. Cooper bunched up with Seth Roberts. Roby Coleman, Brown back there. And a penalty flag on the play.
Pass interference. Defense number 24. Spot foul. Automatic first down.
It is Gilmore.
Now you watch the left arm of Gilmore, and he's going to keep Cooper from getting down the sideline here. That's an illegal bump there. But now, just the right hand comes in there. He's holding just about everything wrong on that play by Gilmore, and he had good position on Cooper. 27 yards, though, on the penalty.
Sets up Oakland with a 1st and 10 at the 21 of Buffalo. Bills leading by 7. 4th penalty against the Bills. Carr has time. End zone. Drop ball. Seth Roberts. He's been an outstanding slot receiver for this Oakland squad. He could not bring that one in.
Well, the first thing is Carr had to get the ball over Hedebo's hands, number 27, and then Corey Graham comes over the top. There's a Hedebo, and watch the left hand here. Perfect timing by Corey Graham to knock that one down.
180, we're good, we're good.
Carr, a delay. Richard. Jalen Richard, good burst and a change of pace to Latavius Murray. Key block from Walford. 8-yard gain for Richard.
Richard is such a good story. The undrafted free agent trying to make an impression in training camp, competing with DeAndre Washington, another rookie, drafted 5th. Both of them similar styles. Washington deactivated today because of the strong play of Richard.
3rd and 2. Raiders looking for the equalizer. Motion man is Richard. Carr gives it to him. Richard churning the legs. Kyle Williams got him down low, and it is enough for a 1st down. Clock ticking away. Under 4 minutes to play in this first half. Carr fakes it. Rifles. Juggled and dropped. Michael Crabtree.
This is a perfect throw, and Crabtree knows it. He dropped the touchdown pass here. Little play action fake, a slant route by Crabtree. Ball right between the 1 and 5, and he's lucky this ball isn't picked off as he knocks it up in the air, and closing on it is Seymour. Carr can't believe it. Neither can Crabtree.
Second down for Oakland. Fake it. Carr, the quarterback keeper, and veers toward the sideline on a chase by Roby Coleman. Picks up 3 yards. So sets up third down now for Oakland. They trail 10-3, 3:28 to play, and the clock rolling here in the second quarter.
That looked like a broken play, but it also could have been Carr just deciding on his own to take that one almost like a bootleg. But again, out of the shotgun formation, very little effect on the defense.
Carr in the pocket, pulls the trigger, over the head of Crabtree. Incomplete, and some jawing going on after the play. Flag is thrown. Crabtree had something to say.
He didn't like the way he was hit by Gilmore. He's still mad about dropping the touchdown pass earlier.
Flag in the back of the end zone after the play was complete. There was a high throw over the head of Crabtree.
After the play was over, taunting. Offense number 15. 15-yard penalty, the down counts. Fourth down. That is the first unsportsmanlike penalty on number 15 with regard to ejection.
Yeah, he gets up and he gets right into the face mask of Gilmore. And the pointing right there is enough to get the taunting call.
So it should have been a 26-yard field goal. Instead, Janikowski will have to kick it from 41 yards away. Made one from 47. King will hold it. Longtime snapper John Kondo will get it started. 41-yard attempt. Janikowski splits the uprights. 2:56 to go in the first half. Buffalo's lead is now 10-6. We're coming back. This week, players around the league are proudly displaying the charitable causes they champion on their game day cleats. Discover their personal tributes at NFL.com/mycause.mycleats. Among the causes, Khalil Mack, the Lupus Foundation of America, Reggie Bush honoring the late Joe McKnight. They were fellow USC Trojans. McKnight fatally shot in an apparent road rage incident in Louisiana earlier this week. Just an awful story. 10-6, the Bills on top of the Raiders. 2:56 to play in the first half. And Janikowski will kick it off to Brandon Tate. Tate averaging 24.5 yards per return with a long of 35 with 2 career touchdowns. It will not be 3, at least not right now. He's dragged down just short of the 25 by Trawick. 4-point game late in the second.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Kay Jewelers. For 100 years, every kiss begins with K. And by Bud Light. Make the right call. Drink responsibly.
First 3 possessions for the Buffalo Bills, starting deep in their own territory. 72-yard drive, an 80-yard drive. And the last possession led to the punt by Colton Schmidt. They open up this time at the 24-yard line. O'Leary, the motion man, offset on and a give to McCoy. Circles. McCoy stops. Redirects to the outside. Takes a shot along that sideline by Carl Joseph, and he's out of bounds. Turns it into a 6-yard gain.
He has the ability to freeze tacklers by coming almost to a total stop and then accelerating. As Perry Riley comes out, but watch this. He's going to stop right here. It's a missed tackle.
Shifty, elusive, shady McCoy. Corey James is in for Riley. And a sprint. Long throw. Taylor. Rainbow out of bounds. Marquise Goodwin, the intended receiver. And a Raider slow to get up. It's Jihad Ward, the rookie out of Illinois. Second-round pick.
Well, Ward was blindsided by Jordan Mills as Taylor gets out of the pocket. Defenders have to keep their head on a swivel.
Khalil Mack is currently on the sideline for Oakland. This is a 3rd and 4 for Buffalo. Sammy Watkins is in there. Flags fly.
Delay of game. Offense, number 5. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
The Bills ran out of time. Watkins has 2 catches for 32 yards. We asked him how much time does he expect to get today. He said, we'll see how the game goes. That will determine how many snaps he gets. He was thinking around the same as last week. McCoy last week was the go-to guy, but they got Watkins involved with 24 snaps. Broken left foot, had complications from that, missed 8 games. Taylor, for tuck and run. Taylor trying to get to the marker. And Tyrod Taylor has just enough, it appears. They put it right at the line to gain. It is enough. New set of downs for Buffalo.
He's aware of what he needs. Watch him jump as he's being pulled by Irvin there, but had the ball upfield, so he got those extra inches, which was enough for the first down.
2-minute warning. Late first half. Coming up, Verizon Halftime Report. JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, Coach Cowher, the latest NFL scores and highlights, all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. During that break, Jack Del Rio contemplated challenging the spot and then elected not to throw the red flag. So it is a first down for Buffalo. Give it to McCoy. Blown up in the backfield by Mack. Mack knifes through for a loss of 2.
Really, huh? Mack the knife?
Yeah, there you go.
I got it.
Bobby Darin did too.
Yeah, you talk about him being in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. How about giving him the MVP if he continues playing the way he has? It would be unusual for a defender to get that award, but got to be in the conversation.
Bills 10, Raiders 6, a minute 22 to go in the first half. 2nd and 12 now. Out of the pistol. McCoy. He can cut on a dime. Dives across the 40. Jordan Mills and Nick O'Leary combined on the blocks. Downstairs to Evan Washburn.
Guys, Carl Joseph, starting strong safety, currently on the sideline. They're working on his left big toe. His shoe is off. He is not in the game. We'll get an update as soon as we can.
All right, Evan Joseph, the rookie out of West Virginia, first-round pick of the Raiders. They do have depth in the secondary. They cross-train corners and safeties so that they're prepared for both positions. T.J. Carey and Keith McGill. Taylor on 3rd and 3. Floats it to the side of Sammy Watkins, incomplete. David Amerson holding up in coverage.
I think Watkins expected this ball more to the outside, but Amerson, perfect coverage there. Did not interfere. You wonder about Sammy putting that right hand up in the air, taking himself out of his 4th down, but
Or was he indicating that it was on him, that he should have cut up the field
Yeah, he's pointing back at Tyrod Taylor to tell him, yes, it was on my fault.
Colton Schmidt, the punt. Richard, the return man. High punt. Richard will not even touch it. It's out of bounds. They will place it at the 15-yard line after the 44-yard kick. Coming up, it's the Verizon Halftime Report. JB and the rest of the gang back in our New York studios. Latest NFL scores and highlights all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. Well, for Sammy Watkins, he said that 8-week period was so difficult for him. He missed it. He needed to come back just on a personal level, also to help the team. But mentally, he said it was important for him to get back out there and feel like he was part of the group again.
Those 2 catches, though, came in the first series when Taylor was hot. He was 9 for 10 at one point, 0 for 3 since that point.
Raiders have 30 seconds to work with here. Carr fires it, complete. Amari Cooper across the 35-yard line. Timeout called with 23 seconds left. That's a 22-yard pass play for Oakland. Well, Sebastian Janikowski, career long of 63 yards. Then it was a record since broken. That's back in 2011. We're talking about 25 more yards to get him into legitimate range.
And absolutely no wind today.
Carr, deep drop. Carr uncorks it into traffic. It's caught by Crabtree. Down at the 46 with 15 seconds left. 17-yard hookup.
Now that offensive line giving Carr enough time to really scan the entire field, looking left, then coming back, and there's Crabtree coming into his vision, and a tough catch in a crowd. Look at the protection, though. No Bill anywhere near clear throwing lane for Carr to Crabtree.
Right now, they'd be looking at a 64-yard attempt.
What a career Seabass has had, too. 17 years in the NFL. And with this resodding of the field, you know he'll have good traction and a good spot to put it down.
15 seconds left. Oakland has 1 timeout remaining. Ball is at the 46 with the Bills leading at 10-6. Carr swings it to the sideline, cut by Murray. There's the extra yardage they needed. He's out of bounds with 10 seconds left, hit by the veteran Corey Graham. 10 yards on the catch and run by Murray.
Yeah, smart play call from Bill Musgrave, offensive coordinator. Bill's looking for either Crabtree or Cooper, and the Raiders slip Murray out of the backfield to pick up valuable yardage for Sebastian Janikowski.
10 seconds left in the half. Right now, it's a 54-yard attempt if they get no more yards on this play. Carr, again, the dump off, and Murray hurdles out of bounds with 5 seconds left in the second quarter. Field goal unit coming on for the Raiders.
Well, he's 6'3", 230 pounds. He goes right by Gilmore to get out of bounds.
I mean, it was an imaginary hurdle, but it was still pretty to look at. Sebastian Janikowski has been doing it for 17 years for the Raiders. It's a 47-yard attempt. Buffalo can ice him. And a timeout taken. Rex Ryan. Big smile on his face.
How many times do you think that Janikowski's been iced in his 17-year career?
Yeah, it's an ice block.
And how many times has it worked? Can you get on that for me?
You want me to look? Halftime, I'll take a look. I'll get on my phone and get that answer to you.
I know you will.
Jack Del Rio's squad riding a 5-game winning streak. The Raiders have turned into must-see football the way that they perform. And you're right, the expectations were higher. They were an in vogue pick before the season started, and they've lived up to it.
Hey, you could see it coming with drafting of Carr and of Mack. One great player on offense, another great player on defense. A really smart move to shore up that offensive line, too.
Trying to slice into this Buffalo lead from 47 yards away. Sebastian Janikowski. Just another day at the office. He ends the first half with a 47-yard field goal. And Buffalo will have the football to start the second half. Janikowski, 3 of 3 in the first half, accounting for all of Oakland's points. Let's go downstairs to Evan Washburn.
All right, thanks. Well, Coach, that last drive, offense seemed to find some rhythm. What's been the difference between when the offense was moving the ball and when they weren't?
Well, I think we've had some opportunities. You know, clearly we had a couple balls that we'd like to catch there in the end zone. So we'll come back. We'll make our plays. We're going to keep playing. You know, it's a good football team. We knew that coming in.
We knew that the run defense would be a challenge for you. What's been the best version of your run defense in this first half?
The version when we tackle and get Shady McCoy from breaking loose. He's a really talented guy. He's going to get loose occasionally. We've got to minimize how many times he can do that.
Coach, thanks for the time.
You bet. Thank you.
All right, Evan, thanks very much. End of the first half here in Oakland. The Buffalo Bills holding on to a 10-9 lead against the Raiders. We'll come back. Verizon Halftime Report after this message and a word from your local station. It's December in the National Football League, and you're watching the NFL on CBS. Beetlejuice. Getting ready for second half action here in Oakland with the Bills in front 10-9. Numbers pretty close in that first half. Buffalo producing 192 yards of offense. Ian Eagle along with Dan Fouts. Evan Washburn joins us momentarily. Have to respect the game plan that the Bills put together. They have been effective and a nice blend in that first half.
Yeah, real good balance as we could see, but they started out throwing the ball, which was totally against their norm, but got the running game going with Shady McCoy with a couple of good runs. And the Raiders, I think that their rushing attack has been affected by the fact that Carr is in the shotgun every play because of that little pinky finger that he just doesn't trust putting it under the center.
All right, second half action is coming up. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. Janikowski will kick it off to Brandon Tate. 3 Janikowski field goals in that first half. That's all the scoring for Oakland. The touchdown run by Gillislee. And a field goal by Carpenter for Buffalo. Second half is underway at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. Returnable for Tate. Tate looking to turn the corner. Slow down and out of bounds short of the 35. Johnny Holton giving chase for Oakland. Down to Evan Washburn.
Well, and I asked Rex Ryan about the fact that Carr was out of the shotgun exclusively and if that made any difference in terms of their defensive approach. He said he didn't because he felt like they could do all the things they normally do out of that pistol or the shotgun. And really, he said, if we keep them to 9 points, we're going to win this game. Very happy with his defense offensively. He feels like they just need to stick to maybe some of the things they were doing early in this game. Guys?
Well, Evan, Oakland is number 5 in scoring, 27.9 points per game. The Bills hold them to 9 in the first half. Sammy Watkins, they got him involved early. Taylor, and a give. McCoy through a hole, accelerated. McCoy, the burst. LaShawn McCoy. John Smith finally gets to him, and McCoy makes Oakland pay.
Well, a little bit of a misdirection here. Remember, McCoy had a 75-yarder last week, longest of his career, but you can see the nice block by O'Leary, and then the acceleration. He doesn't like to run north and south. You can see he wants to always make moves when he's running in a straight line. That one good for 54 yards and a tremendous start for the Bills here in this initial drive.
Gillislee now in for Buffalo. On first down, Taylor will run it. Taylor looking for the angle. He's in. Touchdown, Buffalo. Tyrod Taylor clean going to the end zone. And the Bills add to their lead.
It's that read option that's so important in the red zone. Closer you get to the goal line. Look at Mack go in looking for Gillislee, and there's nobody looking for Taylor.
That was a superb fake by Tyrod Taylor. They go 2 plays in 57 seconds. You talk about a quick strike to open up this second half. McCoy and Taylor.
And don't forget Brandon Tate's great kickoff return past the 30-yard line.
Extra point. Carpenter. He drills it. The Bills quiet down this crowd in Oakland. 17-9. Buffalo in front. Last week against Jacksonville, LaShawn McCoy opened the second half with a 75-yard touchdown run. This time 54 yards on the ground, but it's Taylor that gets the touchdown for 12 yards. And the Buffalo Bills now lead at 17-9 in Oakland. Dan Carpenter will kick it off for Buffalo. Jalen Richard is deep. And this is unreturnable. Booming kick through the back of the end zone. Check out the Fouts Focus.
Well, after the 26-yard return by Tate, watch a little hesitation here and then back. He's going to follow the block here of his tight end, Nick O'Leary. Really a well-designed play by Anthony Lynn. McCoy gets into the secondary. Then we get to the 12-yard touchdown run. Watch Khalil Mack come in here. He's more concerned with this block. Never sees Taylor with the ball.
So Oakland's got the football at the 25. Carr will run it. And hit down low. Derek Carr could not get away from Seymour. Give him 2 yards on the run.
He could not get to the safety of the sideline either. Seymour chopped his legs out and he kind of landed on that right hand. Got the ball in his right hand, but he's going to come right down on that little finger. Ball came loose.
Take it. Carr. Oh, he was going to get sacked. Gets out of the pocket and throws it away. The pressure from Kyle Williams for Buffalo. And it'll be 3rd and long now for Oakland.
Talk about one of the most underrated players in the NFL. That's him right there. You can use all those descriptions of a blue-collar guy, lunch bucket guy. All he does is make plays. Great penetration, desire.
You know he's a scratch golfer, too.
And he was a heck of a swimmer back in his day.
You have the full bio?
He's got a great swim move.
3rd and 9. Calls it the Phelps. That's not true. Carr. Off the hands of Roberts. Fans wanted a penalty flag. They're not going to get it. Carr trying to get into an extended conversation with Bill Vinovich.
Well, looked like just a bit of a bump there, but again, the ball goes through Roberts' hands. Jack Del Rio talking to Evan Washburn about missed opportunities. The Crabtree drop in the end zone, and now on 3rd down, Carr and Roberts can't connect.
Marquette King will punt it. Brandon Tate, the return man for Buffalo at the 28. King averaging 48.6 yards per kick, and this is not one of his better ones. Buffalo will have excellent field position. Marquette King, no dancing for him after the 28-yarder.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Amazon Prime. Get free 2-day shipping on millions of items. And by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
Buffalo 17, Oakland 9, 13-11 to go in the 3rd quarter, and the Buffalo Bills have the football at their own 46-yard line. Tyrod Taylor, 9 of 13, 110 yards through the air. Taylor has a rushing touchdown of 12 yards. Best opening field position for Buffalo today. Taylor throws it on 1st down. It's dropped. Brandon Tate with a flag thrown on the far side at the 46. Well, Gillislee and McCoy have been a great combination for Buffalo.
McCoy with his 54-yarder sets up the 12-yard touchdown run on the perfect execution of the read option by Taylor. They come into the game at averaging 157 yards a game on the ground. 164 already with 13 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
Amerson called on the hold. So now Buffalo's in Oakland territory. Play action. Taylor through the air. Hooks up along the sideline with Goodwin. We asked Sammy Watkins about Goodwin, what he's noticed during his 8-week absence. If Goodwin has developed, he said, oh yeah, he's way more confident than he ever was because he's been so heavily involved. He's got a bigger role and he's obviously enjoying the game. He's been a part of it.
Yeah, for the first time since he's been a Buffalo Bill, he wants the ball, and he has that world-class speed that was evident on that play.
First down, Taylor, clean pocket. Taylor will take a deep shot, end zone. Yeah, nobody there for Buffalo. Goodwin, the closest Bill in the general area, and Reggie Nelson was back there for Oakland.
Well, he threw it to the left side of the field. Watkins was on the right side of the field, getting behind Amerson. And the quarterback, for some reason, his reads took him to the weak side.
5 of Buffalo's 6 wins have come against teams with losing records. They had that victory over New England before Tom Brady got back. McCoy, juke move. It's like a video game out there with LaShawn McCoy. They faked out Perry Riley Jr. and turned it into extra yardage, 9 yards for McCoy.
And Perry Riley Jr. was right in the hole. He had a good shot at McCoy as he takes himself out of the game. But the ability to make the first tackler miss, nobody does it better than McCoy.
113 yards rushing for Shady McCoy with a long of 54. This is a 3rd and 1. Gillislee. He's got the first down for Buffalo. Stacked up across the 25. 5-yard gain for Mike Gillislee.
Yeah, the Bills are operating just the way they want, the way Rex Ryan envisioned coming into today. McCoy makes you freeze, and that affects the way they defend against Gillislee. Gillislee's just going to come straight at you with power. Picked up the first down that time easily.
Close relationship between these two head coaches, Rex Ryan and Jack Del Rio. They served on Brian Billick's staff with the Super Bowl champion Baltimore Ravens. From the gun, Taylor, incomplete. Sammy Watkins, the intended target for Buffalo. Well, you go back, that was a tremendous staff. Marvin Lewis was the defensive coordinator. The Ravens riding the defense with defensive line coach Rex Ryan, linebacker coach Jack Del Rio. Their offices were right next to one another. Rex said, we really enjoyed coaching together and just talking football 24/7. Pistol here for Buffalo. It's McCoy. LaShawn McCoy slowed down by Sean Smith. 8-yard gain for McCoy.
Well, McCoy does a great job of following his fullback. Watch Felton come all the way over from the left halfback spot and lead up on the linebacker there, drops Malcolm Smith onto his wallet, and McCoy does the rest.
Sets up a 3rd and 2. Taking it deeper into Oakland territory. Line of scrimmage is now the 16. Taylor trying to convert. He will on the outside to Goodwin. David Amerson there defensively for Oakland. That's a 5-yard pickup and another Buffalo first down.
And this is what Taylor recognizes, how far off on a 3rd and short Amerson was playing. He gave a cushion of at least 8 yards. Now they're looking at the left hand of Derek Carr.
8th play of the drive. Buffalo in front by 8. Taylor steps up, hooks a pass underneath. Watkins is spun down by Carey at the 5. 6-yard gain for Buffalo. Knocking on the door once again. Well, we know about the pinky finger. We mentioned this hit that he took, and he was down trying to break his fall with the left hand, then landed on the right hand with the ball in it, and the ball popped free out of bounds.
He's going to have to wonder what next.
2nd down. Tate shifts to the backfield. Taylor gives it. Gillislee almost got there. Terry Riley dragging him to make sure he couldn't get to the goal line. The question, is it a first down? Did they get enough?
Well, the misdirection really helped Gillislee initially, but the effort by Perry Riley, and then he gets help from Malcolm Smith, and down low was Reggie Nelson. 3 tough customers right there, keeping Gillislee out of the end zone.
From this angle, it's short. We're going to measure it. But it appeared he needed to get to the 1, didn't get there. Not on the spot. Just short.
Eagle eye. Pair of them.
Well, 4 of them. I've been wearing glasses my whole life.
Right, I didn't notice.
Dan, I'm Ian Eagle. Nice to meet you. Been working together 8 years.
I'm watching the game, man. Come on.
3rd and inches for Buffalo.
Adamson's birth, huh?
No, not quite. 5th grade. I had to accept it.
Well, I've had mine for about the last 20, so good spot by you.
3rd down for Buffalo. They have 189 yards on the ground. Tate goes in motion. Give it to Gillislee. Plows forward. Gillislee is in. Touchdown, Buffalo. 2nd of the day for Mike Gillislee.
Did you see Taylor looking to the sideline with the thumbs up look, looking for confirmation from the coaching staff that this is a good play to give it to Gillislee? Look at the block there by Jordan Mills. Felton gets in on the action. And the touchdown signal by John Miller. But going low with a lot of power gets Gillislee into the end zone. Looking over to the sidelines, getting confirmation. Paid off.
First multi-touchdown game of Mike Gillislee's 4-year career. They go 10 plays, 54 yards, 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Point after from Carpenter. And he knocks it through to give Buffalo a 24-9 advantage. What a start to the second half for the Buffalo Bills. They get the touchdown run by Taylor. They back it up with a touchdown run from Gillislee. The Bills have the Raiders on the ropes. The Bills now have 23 rushing touchdowns on the season. That's 3 away from the franchise record that they set back in 1975. #1 rushing offense in the NFL, and they have lived up to it with 191 yards on the ground. Gillislee, his 2nd of the day for pay dirt. Carpenter kicks it off, and Richard will not get an opportunity. Bills lead at 24-9. Raiders running backs spent their off day Monday helping feed those in need. The unit assisted in serving meals to more than 100 recipients at the Berkeley Food and Housing Project meal program. The players spend time interacting with the folks in the community, some of whom are homeless. Raiders have it at the 25-yard line. Now in a 15-point hole. Plenty of time. 9:01 to go in the 3rd. Cooper has been limited. 1 catch, 22 yards for Oakland. Carr looks downfield, tosses it to Walford. The tight end comes up with a catch, chased down by Kyle Williams. Clive Walford in his 2nd year out of Miami.
That's his first catch of the game, too. First time he was targeted. Rivera was targeted a couple of times.
Had a touchdown last week. Injured his right knee back in week 4, and it slowed him down through the middle part of the season. Richard. Crowd of Bills there. Alexander and Preston Brown. They hold Richard to no gain, and fortunate that he didn't lose the football in the process.
Now Lorenzo Alexander's going to be around the action here. You see him closing. Left hand on the ball, trying to peel the fingers away from it. Good job by Richard to reach back with his offhand.
Alexander, 10 sacks in his breakout year, which happens to be his 10th year in the league. Carr connects with Roberts into Buffalo territory. Corey Graham with the stick. 14 yards on the pass play.
Well, it doesn't seem like there's anything wrong with that little finger now. Watch this tight spiral and a drill shot right to the body of Roberts for the first down.
Raiders trying to build some rhythm on offense. We saw it at the tail end of the first half. Quick toss to Roberts, who leaves his feet. Roby Coleman and Gilmore combined on the stop, 4.5 yards through the air. Now the Buffalo Bills have had the football 21 minutes and 7 seconds. Oakland, the number 5 offense in the NFL, now in rally mode once again. They've had 5 fourth-quarter comeback victories this season. Murray. That's another first down, hit from behind, inside the 25. Osemele and Jackson with blocks up front, the guards.
Now, really good vision by Latavius Murray as he sees the hole right behind the big center, Rodney Hudson.
Carr takes the snap. Carr floats it over the middle, sliding grab by Crabtree. And he's down at the 5.
Well, Crabtree dropped one earlier, right on the goal line, would have been a touchdown. This is a great catch, though. Slowing down, concentrating as a defender flies by the ball and making the catch.
First and goal for Oakland. 5 receivers set. They were looking for the fade. And the play was whistled dead. Latavius Murray on the receiving end.
Really a good timeout, too, called by Rex Ryan. His player's a little bit tired, winded after this very quick drive.
First charge timeout. Buffalo.
And Oakland going pedal to the metal. They're moving quickly here.
Absolutely.
They've picked up the pace, trailing 24-9. Week 13 continues. Sunday Night Football on NBC and Monday Night Football on ESPN. Then Week 14 kicks off Thursday Night Football on NBC, NFL Network, and streaming on Twitter.
That was an interesting play selection there, too, that was not allowed because of the timeout. But Latavius Murray out wide against Zach Brown, rather, on the fade route. That's a matchup the Raiders would hope to see again. That may have been the reason that Rex Ryan called the timeout.
This is a stretch of 4 straight home games for the Raiders. One of those home games was in Mexico City. And Rex Ryan knows that he's going against a hot football team. 5 straight victories for Oakland. They will be at Kansas City on Thursday night. Red zone scoring. Number 2 overall behind Detroit. But right now the Raiders are thinking touchdown and touchdown only. They need it, trailing 24-9. Menelik Watson in, extra offensive lineman. On a first and goal, motion man is Crabtree. Carr moving pocket. Delayed rush, Carr floats it. Incomplete. Preston Brown with the pressure.
It's almost as if Preston Brown knew it was going to be a rollout. They rolled out to the extra offensive lineman's side. Watson lining up as a tight end there. And Brown got into the backfield without being touched.
Second and goal for the Raiders. Murray flanks Carr. Strong side to the right. Handed to Murray. He stood up. Murray had a head of steam, but Marcel Darius among those there for Buffalo.
Well, at 330 pounds, Darius, number 99 right here. Watch him move here against Hudson. And as Murray cuts back, he cuts back right into the big arms of Marcel Darius.
They bring in a taller target, Andre Holmes, at 6'4". He's got 10 catches this season with 2 touchdowns. Dennis Thurman, second-year defensive coordinator for Buffalo. On a third and goal. Carr. Looking. Carr. Back in the end zone. Touchdown. Crabtree's got it. He dropped one earlier, not this time. The Carr-Crabtree connection.
You can see Carr looking to Crabtree right away. Watch him. That ball was tipped by Marcel Darius, and it still got to Crabtree. Little hop there, got inside of Seymour, the rookie from USC. Watch the ball tipped right here. Takes it out of spiral, but not enough off the ball. Crabtree with a catch.
9 plays, 75 yards as Janikowski tacks on the extra point. Crabtree. That is touchdown number 7 for him. Carr, 5 of 6 on the drive. Rob Ryan, I'm not happy. It's 24-16, Buffalo.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by American Express Open, proud supporter of growing businesses, and by Verizon. It's always a great gift on Verizon.
A tremendous answer by the Oakland Raiders. 3 minutes and 44 seconds. Carr hooks up with Crabtree on the 3-yard touchdown. And it's 24-16 Bills. 5:17 to go in the third quarter. Janikowski kicks it off. Brandon Tate standing at the goal line, and here it comes. Holmes works the sideline against Tate and hammers him down on special teams. Tuesday, if you think Dr. Jason Bull is trouble, wait until you meet his ex-wife. Michael Weatherly stars in TV's #1 news show. It's Bull. New episode Tuesday after NCIS, only CBS.
Now that quick drive by the Raiders have got this crowd back into it. So the offense has done their job. It'll be interesting to see what adjustments the Raiders have made on the sidelines to try to stop this rushing attack of Buffalo's. The Wildcat.
It is McCoy. LeSean McCoy gets hit along the perimeter at the 20-yard line by Perry Riley Jr. And McCoy slow to get up. NFL Today update coming up. McCoy is on his back. And now the medical staff comes over to Shady McCoy. LeSean McCoy got hit and then hammered on the backside. We'll take a break. LeSean McCoy walked off on his own power to the Buffalo sideline and trying to get himself loose after he took a shot. Direct snap to Gillislee. Sticks the helmet in there for no gain on the play. Brought down to the 20, down to Evan Washburn.
Well, guys, initially scarier than it appears to be. It's just a cramp in the right leg for LeSean McCoy. He's currently on the sideline, looks ready to get back in there, just jogging through it, guys.
Yeah, they had some type of device trying to rub out that cramp of the calf. And, of course, he's got to stretch it out real good now as they'll come back.
The Bills face a 3rd and 4. We're down to 4:19 to play in the third quarter. Jonathan Williams is in. Pistol for Buffalo. Fake it. Taylor. Off the hand of Watkins. The coverage from T.J. Carey. And the Bills go 3 and out.
Now the Bills had been 6 of 9 on third downs, and right here, Taylor's got Watkins, puts it too far out in front. Carey with tight coverage there. That's the first time today that the Bills have been held to 3 and out.
So Colton Schmidt will punt it deep in Buffalo territory. 2 returners back. It's McGill in front of Richard. Short punt. Richard into Buffalo territory. Richard finally brought down inside the 40 by Graham. 35-yard punt, 17-yard return, and things are shifting in Oakland.
Well, not only was it a short punt, it was a low punt. So when Richard gets it, he's got a full head of steam here. And great blocking there. It looks like he's running from scrimmage there with the offensive line working for him. Sets up his team with outstanding field position.
Line of scrimmage is the 38 of Buffalo. The Bills lead by 8. Tywan Jones is in. Crabtree just caught the touchdown for Oakland. Jones out of the backfield. Carr looks. Snagged there by Crabtree underneath. And a modest gain of 4 yards as Crabtree lost his helmet. But kept his earring.
He's got all his jewelry. He's got his necklace on. He's in good shape. Never quite understood the jewelry on a football player during a game. But I'm an old guy and a lot of things I don't understand.
I'm not really going to debate you on it. Just kind of let it sit out there. 2nd and 6. Carr operating out of the gun exclusively throughout the day. Givers to Richard. He's got a hole. Richard busting through. Jalen Richard. The speed and emerging for a 21-yard pickup.
Well, there's no hesitation. He hits the hole quickly, and then he shows that, hey, LeSean McCoy, I can make people miss too. There's a missed tackle there. There's another one. Takes it all the way down inside the 15. What a jump start he's given this Raider offense with the good punt return and then that run.
Raiders set it up at the Buffalo 13-yard line. Down to 2.5 to play in the 3rd. Give it to Richard. The cut. Hit at the 10. 3 yards for Richard. Corey Graham will get credit for the tackle.
Well, Richard's going to give us a little Walter Payton high step here. And that's enough to make Roby Coleman miss.
Second and 7 for the Raiders. Chipping away at this Buffalo defense. Now 272 total yards for Oakland. Carr fires. Caught. Short of the goal line by Rivera. He got slammed down on the play.
Now Rivera on the crossing route trying to get in the end zone, but the tackle here by Zach Brown's perfect. Head in front of the ball carrier, and he wrestles him to the ground. Saves the touchdown, but not the first down.
Raiders go with a jumbo formation. On 1st and goal. Murray straight ahead. Plunges in for the touchdown.
Now this offensive line really doing a good job of not only protecting Carr lately, but the mobility here of the offensive line with Gabe Jackson pulling from his right guard spot. Watch him come over here. That gives Murray the crack he needs to dive into the end zone.
So a decision for Jack Del Rio. Some would say too early to go for 2. We're still in the 3rd quarter, and that's the way Jack Del Rio's playing it. He'll kick the extra point.
He's had great success this year, but being 4 out of 5, way too early to go for the 2 here.
Doink!
A doinker.
Good. And it's good! Janikowski angles it through. Barely. 24-23 in Buffalo. Late stages into the 3rd.
Sebastian Janikowski now 31 in a row this year without a miss. But he came real close to missing this one. Hooks it just a little bit to the right and gets the friendly bounce through. What's the deal with extra points this year, Ian?
I have no idea. It has been such a drop-off, a marked drop-off from last year to this year. The spot had been changed, but I don't know if it's just gotten into the kickers' heads or what the deal is.
It's exactly what the league wanted, though.
You're right. You now have to pay attention on point afters.
Yep. More drama, more suspense, and more coaching decisions, too.
No longer a foregone conclusion as Janikowski kicks it off. Under a minute to go in the third. And a booming kick goes over the head of Tate. Bills will have it at the 25 now, up by 1. JB, Boomer, NFL Today update.
An aerial strike in Arizona.
You know, former Eagles making big plays all over the place. LaShawn McCoy out in Oakland. How about Deshaun Jackson right down the middle in Arizona? This led to a Kirk Cousins 1-yard touchdown run. And the Redskins take the lead over the Cardinals late in the third period, 13-10.
Back to Ian, Dan, and Evan.
Now, to think when this season started, Arizona was one of the favorites to come out of the NFC and represent the conference in the Super Bowl. That's not going to happen. The Washington Redskins picked up where they left off at the end of last season, and Kirk Cousins has been the real deal. 57 seconds to go in the third. Buffalo leading at 24-23. Taylor throws on first down, bounces off of Watkins. Incomplete against T.J. Carey.
It's a drop pass by Sammy Watkins. Taylor had a lot of time to throw, and he's going to put it right on target. Good break by Carey. That left arm on Watkins' left arm, enough to keep him from closing his hands on the ball.
Three catches, 38 yards on 6 targets for Sammy Watkins. 2nd and 10, back to the ground game. McCoy waiting for a hole. It never develops. No gain on the play. Bruce Irvin sticking at the line of scrimmage against LaShawn McCoy.
Buffalo in danger of going 3 and out for the second consecutive possession. Tyrod Taylor started the game 9 of 10 for 110 yards. Since that point, just 3 of 10 for 22.
It is rocking in Oakland. Flag comes down.
And give that rocking crowd credit for that one. Cordy Glenn move.
Offense number 77. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
.6'6", 345 pounds, and nowhere to hide.
Can't miss him. Now it's 3rd and 15 for Buffalo.
And Sammy Watkins onto the sideline.
And the end of the third quarter at the Coliseum. We will go to the 4th. Buffalo clinging to a 24-23 lead. You're watching the NFL on CBS. What makes Monday TV's best night of comedy? Kevin Can Wait, Man with a Plan, Two Broke Girls, and The Big Bang Theory. Tomorrow starting at 8, 7 Central, only CBS. We start the 4th quarter in Oakland. The Bills 24, the Raiders 23. Buffalo facing a 3rd and 15. Taylor looks downfield. Watkins hit simultaneously as the ball got there. David Amerson with the smack. Incomplete.
Well, when it's 3rd and 15, the Raiders can play zone. Amerson comes away from his corner spot, reads the pattern by Watkins, sees the ball in the air, and strips it from Watkins. Great play by David Amerson.
The pendulum has swung in Oakland's favor, even though they still trail by 1. Colton Schmidt will punt it. Going for the block! Very close. That ball bounces high in the air and out of bounds. Andre Holmes laid out. Nearly got to the football. Let's go to New York, JB and Boomer.
Ian, Arizona answers back.
Yeah, back and forth they go, JB, off of a sack and fumble by Kirk Cousins. Back come the Cardinals. That's Michael Floyd. 6-yard touchdown reception. 17-13 Arizona over the Redskins. If the Redskins lose, Dallas will clinch the first playoff berth of the season.
As you know all too well, Ian.
Thanks so much, guys. Dallas got the victory over Minnesota on Thursday night, and it sets the Cowboys up to be the first team to be in the postseason if Washington falls to Arizona. Derek Carr has been tremendous in fourth quarters this season. His team trails 24-23. Bootleg. Carr on the move, and a sidearm throw is deflected by Lawson.
They'll go back to the punt. Andre Holmes is 6'4". He gets inside of Gillislee as Gillislee looks back and hopes that Schmidt can get this off. How close? About 4 or 5 inches.
Line of scrimmage is the 41. It's a 2nd and 10 for Oakland. Carr steps up. Pumps. Rainbow throw downfield. Crabtree adjusting on the fly, but could not haul it in. And Crabtree might have a finger issue himself as he sprints towards the Oakland sideline.
He recognized this ball is well underthrown. He's trying to get back to it, but coming over, making another big play. Hedaboo right there.
He landed awkwardly, and they are checking out the left hand of Crabtree.
Looks like the left ring finger of Crabtree.
3rd and 10 for the Raiders.
It's an epidemic.
We are early in the fourth quarter. Carr straight back. Carr delivers on time. Derek Carr to Michael Rivera.
And they're going to get 15 yards more for a hit on a defenseless receiver. What a great throw by Carr. Little back shoulder throw to Rivera. Rivera at 6'3", 245. Officials are going to talk about it, but the flag came out almost immediately after the hit.
The pass is complete. There's no foul for contact to the helmet. The hit was legal, shoulder to shoulder. First down.
Well, good job by the officials to figure this one out. Good coverage by Corey White, but the ball placement is perfect. Hedaboo came in with his right shoulder, and it is a good call. Both shoulders were hit there. Hedaboo right on Rivera's.
Rivera takes off the helmet. He's now on the Oakland sideline, and the line of scrimmage is the 37 of Buffalo. Fake it to Murray. Carr tosses downfield too high. He had Holmes, who's a tall target. Back to the NFL Today update in New York. Boomer and JB.
Tampa capitalizing on the turnover.
All right, how about Phillip Rivers intended for Tyrell Williams right there? This ball is deflected, picked off by Levante David. Takes it in for a touchdown. They lead 17-14. If they win, they will be tied with the Atlanta Falcons in the NFC South.
Nip and tuck, Ian.
And give Dirk Cutter a lot of credit, guys. That team has remained together, and they are in the mix in the topsy-turvy NFC South. 2nd and 10. Carr. End zone. He gets there. Touchdown. Amari Cooper. A clear path after the catch as he was hit from behind.
Great anticipation on the throw by Carr as he sees Cooper get behind Seymour with a great fake on the slant route, then up over the top. They're going to review this, obviously. It's a scoring play. Does he break the plane before the knee hits the ground? I say yes, he does.
Tremendous balance by Cooper.
He really had to dig in with that right leg, too, and suspend that right knee as the right hand carries the ball across the plane.
37 yards. Cooper, the extension. Seymour desperately trying to get him down. And the points are going to stick. 21 unanswered. Extra point, Janikowski. And no drama on this one as he converts. The Oakland Raiders continue to find ways. Their offense has been awakened in the second half. They lead it 30-24 over Buffalo. One of the most explosive offenses in the NFL, and we have seen it firsthand in this second half. The Oakland Raiders come storming back. 5 plays, 59 yards, the touchdown, Carr to Cooper. And now it's the Raiders in front of the Bills, 30-24. Michael Keaton approves. Kickoff from Janikowski. Tate takes a knee. Bills will have it at the 25. Coming up, Subway postgame show, time permitting. JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, Coach Cowher. The latest NFL scores and highlights all coming up on the Subway postgame show. Buffalo had it rolling. McCoy, 127 yards on the ground. Gillislee, 2 rushing touchdowns. Taylor with a rushing touchdown, but limited passing game for Buffalo. And now they trail by 6. It's a run to McCoy. And he's bottled up. A lot of running for 2 yards on the game.
We'll go back to the touchdown. This is a real rookie mistake here as Cooper's going to fake the slant. But what Seymour didn't realize is he's got help on the inside to take the slant away by Zach Brown. Brown's looking for it. And for some reason, Seymour was too, and he gets burned for the touchdown.
Taylor in some trouble, gets out of it. On the move, floats it too high. He actually had some separation there for Gerald Christian, but he could not hit him. NFL Today update, JB and Boomer.
Boomer, reminiscent of Dan Fouts?
Well, Fouts the joiner. This is going to be Rivers to Tyrell Williams, 40 yards. Back and forth they go between Tampa and San Diego. San Diego now takes the lead 21-17 over the Bucs.
Iron Eagle, Dan Fouts.
And so many injuries to San Diego on offense. They have another fine receiver ready to go on Tyrell Williams.
Yeah, they still have the quarterback in Phillip Rivers, and he's still awesome.
Taylor has converted on just 3 of his last 12 passes. He started the day 9 out of 10. This is a 3rd and 8. Taylor hit as he throws. Incomplete. 4th down Buffalo. They have not been able to muster up any offense over the last 3 series.
Well, the pressure closing in. You can see Mack doesn't quite get to Taylor, but he affects the throw. Just hit him enough to force that incompletion. 3 straight 3 and outs now for Buffalo after a great start to second half.
Khalil Mack has 6 straight games with a sack. He did not have one here today. Schmidt with a punt. Richard. He's put a big role here. Richard to the outside. And he's out of bounds. Another outstanding return with Richard going 25 yards. Penalty flag at the 44. It was a 48-yard punt.
There in the kick. Holding. Receiving team number 56. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down. Timeout.
So back it up for Jack Del Rio's squad. They've got a 30-24 lead in the 4th.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Honda. Hurry in for great deals during Happy Honda Days. New York Life. With the right guidance, everyone can be good at life. And by Walmart. Find gifts, groceries, and more this season.
Oakland Raiders and Buffalo Bills, 30-24 Raiders with 13:06 to go now in the 4th quarter. This game has changed dramatically in the second half. Buffalo was building something. Oakland couldn't get its offense in gear. It's a team that's number 5 in total offense. In fact, the numbers they're putting up are the best offensive numbers they've had since 1968. It took a while, but now we've seen the multiple weapons for Oakland.
And they've taken advantage of good field position. This is their worst field position of the second half.
After the penalty, they are backed up to the 15-yard line. Richard, a little McCoy move by Jalen Richard, turns it into a 7-yard gain, hit by Zach Brown. Downstairs to Evan Washburn.
Well, in the previous offensive series for Oakland, we saw Michael Crabtree go to the sideline with the latest finger injury for the Raiders. It appeared to be his left ring finger. It's taped to his pinky finger. Didn't appear to be too severe.
All right, thanks, Evan. Shotgun Carr, and throws on cue to Crabtree. Crabtree is brought down at the 40-yard line. That's another first down, covering 18 yards. NFL Today update. Back to JB and Boomer.
Boomer channeling Kirk Cousins. You like that?
Yeah, I do like that. And this is Jamison Crowder, one of the best slot receivers in all of the NFL. This is going to be 26 yards. Redskins retake the lead over the Cardinals, 20-17.
Back to Ian.
Let's give credit where credit is due. Kirk Cousins has delivered for the Washington Redskins.
And it's puzzling why they won't give him a long-term contract.
Give it to Richard. Runs into a brick wall. 1-yard pickup for Richard, met by Brown and Duzable. 2nd and 9 now for Oakland. We are under 12 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Raiders now up to 367 yards of offense. One of 4 teams ranked in the top 5 in total offense and scoring. New Orleans, Atlanta, and Dallas, the others entering week 13. Carr will take a timeout with the play clock winding down. Raiders have 2 timeouts left. Coming up, Subway postgame show, time permitting. It'll be JB and the rest of the crew. Latest NFL scores and highlights all coming up on the Subway postgame show. We asked Derek Carr about Amari Cooper and what the difference has been year 2 compared to year 1. And Cooper, he said, has come out of his shell a bit. We're seeing his personality, not just in his relationship with Carr, but with the rest of the team.
Yeah, but that was really important, watching the two of them talking along the sidelines there. Cooper giving his input and Carr agreeing with part of it and then saying, no, I think we got to do this. You know, that's so important because it translates to obviously the success that they've had on the field.
And he said Cooper has had a higher trust level, not only with Derek, but with everybody. The mental side has been sharper as well. Cooper is very close to cracking 1,000 yards. Last year, 1,070 yards. And made the Pro Bowl in his rookie year. Carr looking downfield, and not even going to risk it as he throws it away. Pressure from Jerry Hughes on the play, and it brings up 3rd and 9 for Oakland.
Well, Dennis Thurman comparing notes with Rex Ryan along the sidelines. Dennis, who was an outstanding defensive back in his playing days.
And their relationship goes back to the Baltimore days as well. Thurman joined Rex when he went to the Jets and then joined his staff when he took over the Buffalo Bills last year. This is an important stop for Buffalo. 3rd and 9 for Oakland. Rush is coming. Carr flushed out and tosses it at the feet of Murray. The Bills defense has done its job. Pressure from Corey Grant forcing Carr to loop out of it.
Well, this is what they were comparing notes on, whether to bring the safety Graham on the blitz and watch the speed. Carr saw it coming too out of the corner of his eye and knew he had to get rid of that ball. Good play called by Dennis Thurman.
Brandon Tate averaging 11.6 yards per return with a long of 43. Had that last week. on the receiving end of this Marquette King punt with 11:06 to play in the fourth. Backpedaling, the ball bounces. Raiders trying to down it. Taiwan Jones downfield, and he saved it.
Really heads up play by Jones. He saw the big bounce and he knew his had a head full of steam right there. Keeps his feet out of the end zone and pitches the ball back to his teammate.
What a play. Last three possessions for Rex Ryan's squad. 3 punts, all 3 and outs. And now the Bills have the football at their own 4-yard line. They trail 30-24 here in Oakland. Taylor from the gun. Hit as he throws. That ball is up in the air and intercepted. Nate Allen's got the pick for the Raiders.
And it was Mack around the corner that caused this ball to be intercepted. He went right around Jordan Mills, hit the arm of Taylor.
Khalil Mack continues his assault on opposing quarterbacks.
Reaching for the ball, doesn't get the ball, but gets the arm. And Nate Allen heads up. He cuts in front of his teammate Sean Smith for the pick. Tremendous effort by Mack.
And the Raiders take over at the Buffalo 16. Just a little piece of the back of the football and hand. Pistol for Oakland, up by 6, and they can add to it. Carr on a give. Murray driven backwards. The Bills converge defensively, led by Lorenzo Alexander. Preston Brown also in on the stop, no gain.
The Bills come into the game with a +8 turnover differential. They've forced 20 fumbles this season, but have only able to recover 6 of those 20 opportunities.
And for Tyrod Taylor, he has limited the mistakes. That's only his 5th interception of the season. Bills have the fewest turnovers in the NFL in action. Richard sticks the helmet down and plows into Ihedebo. Richard used his head for 8 yards.
Yeah, a draw play that gets in here, and really at the bottom, the end of this play is what is so impressive. For a smaller back, goes about 200 pounds. Watch him drop his head to go lower than the tackler there, and pushes Ihedebo back about 3 yards.
Sets up a 3rd and 2, 9 carries, 53 yards for Richard. And a timeout called by Carr.
Well, in a 6-point game, you only have 1 timeout remaining.
.920 mark of the 4th quarter. A 3rd and 2 coming up. Hey, NFL fans, order your holiday gifts from NFLshop.com today. Save up to 25% off the official store of the NFL. It's NFLshop.com. Rex and Rob Ryan, their defense forced into a tough position after the INT by Taylor, hit by Mack.
Now the pass protection that Carr has received here in the second half gives him a lot of options here on this 3rd down and short. Crabtree has been so clutch in these situations. But don't go to sleep on Amari Cooper if he can get one-on-one coverage on the outside. You anticipate man-to-man coverage on a 3rd down and short. And that's exactly what the Raiders would like to see.
So Oakland with just 1 timeout remaining. Now facing a 3rd and 2 at the Buffalo 8-yard line. Murray behind Carr. Give it to Murray. Through the middle. Murray's got a first down. Latavius Murray, one of the biggest tailbacks that you will ever find. 6'3", 230.
He's got 63 yards rushing. Richard, 53 yards rushing. That's a perfect 1-2 punch behind that huge offensive line. They are wearing down and wearing out the Buffalo front seven.
Latavius Murray will be headed to Syracuse University to get his master's in business. Right now, his business is running the football effectively. First and goal. It's Murray. Touchdown, Raiders. A completely different team in the second half. Oakland has turned the tables.
Yeah, the athleticism of this offensive line is illustrated by Gabe Jackson, the third-round pick back in 2014, getting out in front here. This guy weighs 335 pounds. And watch number 66, right side of the screen, is going to lead the way as he takes Preston Brown out of the picture.
Murray now with double-digit touchdowns this season, the third Raider to do it. Pete Banaszak and Marcus Allen, the other two. That is rushing touchdown number 10 for Latavius Murray. And the Raiders will go for two, trying to make this a 14-point lead. Murray remains in there. The motion man is Roberts. Carr fake it, toss it. Roberts, 2 points on the board for Oakland. And the Raiders are making it look easy on offense.
Well, they're now 5 of 6 converting on 2-pointers. Really well designed by Bill Musgrave. Easy pitch and catch for the deuce.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Kay Jewelers. For 100 years, every kiss begins with K. And by Subway. Try the classic Reuben, stacked with corned beef. Limited time only.
For those of you expecting to see 60 Minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS. The game between the Buffalo Bills and the Oakland Raiders. Ian Eagle along with Dan Fouts and Evan Washburn. The Raiders lead at 38-24 over Buffalo. 60 Minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately after this game, except on the West Coast. 29 unanswered points for the Oakland Raiders. Janikowski through the back of the end zone over the head of Tate. And the Bills will have it at the 25.
Couple of key blocks on this touchdown run. This is the target. That's the Hedebo, and that's Preston Brown. Alawale takes out the Hedebo, and then from his guard spot comes Gabe Jackson right here. The 1-2 punch right there, and it's a stand-up touchdown run for Latavius Murray.
Del Rio and Carr sharing a moment. Del Rio said Carr is smart. He's a great decision maker. He studies. He knows protections. He's accurate with the ball. A natural leader. Pretty good. The catch by McCoy. Stumbles down at the 30-yard line. 5-yard gain through the air. Perry Riley in on the stop.
Now they have no choice but to get to the line of scrimmage now. Only 2 timeouts remaining.
An injury for Buffalo. It's John Miller. The right guard. Taylor sends it to Goodwin with a flag down. Flag thrown at the 25.
Looks like it's going to be offsides against the Raiders lining up in the neutral zone. Bruce Irvin looked like he got a quick start.
Offside. Defense number 51. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Well, Irvin got a sack in the first half. But this quick start here across the line, just enough. Draw the flag. And Mack doesn't have a sack in the game, but he did cause that interception last possession for Buffalo.
Patrick Lewis is in for John Miller on the Buffalo offensive line. 2nd and 1. Running play, McCoy. Wrestled down right at the 35. It is good enough for a first down. NFL Today update. Let's go to JB and Boomer.
Back and forth in San Diego.
How about Jameis Winston? He's going to find Cameron Brate in the back of the end zone. 12 yards. 2-point conversion was good. Bucks have scored 11 straight points. They now lead 28-21 over the Chargers.
A white knuckler back to Iron Eagle.
On a first down play, McCoy is out of bounds. Malcolm Smith, the former Super Bowl MVP with the Seattle Seahawks, makes the play out along the sideline. 6-yard pickup. And big reason why Smith is in Oakland and Bruce Irvin is in Oakland is the relationship they formed with Ken Norton Jr. when he was on the coaching staff in Seattle. Jack Del Rio said, hey, I don't think we have those guys without that dynamic and connection. Taylor with the toss to Goodwin. Oakland is giving up the yardage underneath.
And with Ken Norton being a former linebacker with a whole bunch of Super Bowl rings with the Cowboys and the Niners, those linebackers speak the same language, and the terminology when Ken Norton came here from Seattle, obviously familiar to both Irvin and Smith.
3 Super Bowls for Norton, 3 Pro Bowls in his career as well. 6.5 to play. Taylor not going to get far. Danico Autry there to make sure that Taylor didn't get extra yards. In fact, it's going to be a sack for the Oakland D. No gain.
Just a familiar sight too often for Buffalo Bill fans is watching Taylor go back to pass and not finding anybody initially and having to rely on his legs to pick up yardage.
The last win that Buffalo had in Oakland was 1966. They didn't win in Los Angeles. Taylor to the sideline, and Goodwin, it's a clean catch on the juggle. But he held on to the 40-yard line, and a first down for Buffalo. 12 yards through the air. 5:52 to play in the 4th. And the Bills are down 2 touchdowns.
That was a bit of a juggle on the sidelines, but right in front of the official. And apparently, he deemed it to be a good catch.
We mentioned the giveaways for Buffalo. Only 6 entering action. That's the fewest through 11 games in NFL history. Off the hands of O'Leary. But they did turn the ball over when Khalil Mack got to Tyrod Taylor. Ball got hung up in the air and picked off by Nate Allen for his first interception of the season. And the Raiders turned that into 8 points to extend the lead to 14. Reggie Bush is in. He sets up as a receiver. This is a 2nd and 10 for Buffalo. 5:32 remaining in the 4th. From the gun. Taylor will run. Tyrod Taylor lost his footing. They'll give him a gain of 9, just short of the first down. Leading rusher among quarterbacks in the NFL this season.
Yeah, he was thinking about going out of bounds, but when he cut up field, he lost his footing, so he comes up about a half a yard short of the first down. If he goes out of bounds, the clock would not stop because it was not under 5 minutes.
3rd and less than a yard. Taylor on a give to Reggie Bush. First down for Buffalo, 3 yards on the carry. But we are under 5 minutes to play now.
That's a draw play for Reggie Bush, and the veteran that he is knows he needs just a yard there. He lowers his helmet and gets it.
Buffalo Bills will have Pittsburgh coming up at home, Cleveland at home, Miami at home. 3 straight home games for Buffalo before they wrap up the season at the Jets. Taylor on first down, hits a pass, and it's too far for Sammy Watkins. Watkins had some separation and frustrated as he makes his way back to the huddle.
And the clock stops with that incomplete pass, but the Bills taking a lot of time between plays. They can huddle up now and get some things ironed out.
Taylor's had some problems with his accuracy today. 16 of 30, 161 yards, And the pick.
He was so hot to begin the game.
9 of 10 to open up. 2nd and 10 for Buffalo. They handled the rush initially. Autry nearly got to Taylor. And a hot throw by Taylor to the sideline. And Hunter did not bring it in. Pressure from Autry and Jihad Ward.
Hunter only has 1 catch today. 22 yards. And to not handle that shot down the sideline.
Well, the Bills have to have 7 points here, so they're staring at 4-down territory. It's 3rd and 10 right now for Buffalo. 4:11 to play. From the 28 of Oakland. Flag down. And they're not going to give him the free play. Nick O'Leary on the receiving end of this penalty against the Bills. Penalties today, 6 on each
Prior to
team.
the snap. False start. Offense number 15. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
It's Brandon Tate, and that will be penalty number 7 against Buffalo.
And it seems like it's 3 or 4 times that they've had a penalty on 3rd and long to make it 3rd and longer.
And for it to happen with a wide receiver.
Inexcusable. You can't hear the snap count, but you look in at the ball. When the ball moves, you move.
Third and 15 for Buffalo. Taylor steps up. Dumps it off with a grab by McCoy. LaShawn McCoy is brought down inside the 20.
The ball looked like it was going into the Buffalo bench.
That's a 17-yard grab, but look at this one. One hand.
That's Beckham-esque. And now he keeps it in that one hand.
A loaf of bread. LaShawn McCoy to the sideline, and a new set of downs for Buffalo. And at a 3:34 to play in the 4th. Raiders lead by 14. Gillislee now in. 13th play of the drive. Taylor feeling the pressure. Oh, the ball gets knocked away. Khalil Mack. He is a one-man wrecking crew on defense. He's everywhere.
And just like last week, he gets a strip sack and a fumble recovery. Working against Jordan Mills, takes the inside route, knocks the ball out of Taylor's hands, and falls on the ball.
It just lands right on top of Mack.
The football hat trick. One for the sack, one for the fumble forced, and one for the recovery. Unbelievable.
Tyrod Taylor called him a game record. The AFC Defensive Player of the Month in November, and there could be a larger award on the horizon for young Khalil Mack, who played his college football at Buffalo. The University of Buffalo, 16 career forced fumbles there, an FBS record. Handoff to Murray. He's dropped. Shaq Lawson there defensively, a 2-yard pickup for Murray. And for Khalil Mack, he is in double digits once again in sacks. 15 last year, he's got 10 this year. They move him all over the field, and Rex Ryan said it. We asked him, how would you describe him? He said, he's awesome.
And that word gets tossed around a lot, but he is awesome. Another strip sack in the 4th quarter that basically ends this game for Buffalo.
2nd and 8. Murray. Brought down shy of the 30-yard line. Timeout called with 2:31 to play and a 4-yard pickup. Coming up tonight on CBS, it all begins with 60 Minutes and the Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, followed by Bull, NCIS Los Angeles, and MacGyver. That's tonight, only CBS. 3rd and 4 for the Raiders.
And Jordan Mills, the right tackle for the Bills, is doing a pretty good job throughout the afternoon keeping Mack away from Taylor. But you just got the feeling that at some point he was going to get his sack for the day. 7 straight games with a sack now for Mack.
Now the Bills were 4-0 this season when Shady McCoy went for 100 yards or more on the ground. He's got 130 today. That'll be the first blemish for Buffalo when McCoy hits the century mark. Bills will drop to 6-6 on the season. And 2 giveaways for a team that only had turned it over 6 times through the first 11 games. 3rd and 4. 2:31 remaining. And Murray comes up short of the first down. Or did he? No, a timeout. Buffalo calls it. Preston Brown in on the stop. And it will be 4th down for Oakland. Punter will come on. Marquette King.
And what a weapon King has been this year. His net average is almost 43 yards a punt.
Now the Buffalo Bills trying to end the longest postseason drought currently in the NFL. Last playoff appearance, I have to go back to 1999. The Music City Miracle. Bills remained in the conversation after back-to-back victories. But Buffalo only has 2:27 left to work with, down by 2 touchdowns. They'll get the football back. Marquette King to punt it. Flag down. King's punt rolls into the end zone. And Marquette King may have gotten a flag for picking up the flag.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Ian.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Receiving team number 30. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Or is there?
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Yeah. Kicking team number 7. That penalty will be enforced after the first down. 1st and 25.
You can't use the flag as a prop.
Well, it was really, here's the roughing the punter, which is a good call. You can see the extension there. He comes down, and beneath him, he's Corey White, and now this action here, totally uncalled for, and really that's a Bush League move by a punter.
Now King has used the celebration over and over again, and it's gotten his name out there. His teammates enjoy it. But you can't cross that line.
Well, he's fortunate that his action came after the play, so the Raiders will maintain possession.
Tell the Buffalo they will not have the football. 2:20 left. Rex Ryan's team is going to take this long flight back home and think about a 500 record with the Pittsburgh Steelers coming up in Orchard Park. Raiders have the quick turnaround. They will be in Kansas City on Thursday night. A win here will be 6 straight for Oakland.
And they have a tough remaining schedule with 3 of their 4 on the road, but the road doesn't seem to bother them. Best road team in the NFL this year.
Now, right now, the AFC West is staring at 3 teams in the playoffs. With the way the Kansas City Chiefs have played and the Denver Broncos, the Oakland Raiders trying to keep pace with the New England Patriots.
And how about Eric Berry of the Chiefs and what he did today?
8 points personally.
A pick 6 and a pick 2.
Yeah. You don't talk a lot about the pick 2, except you're playing the lottery.
I know you're going to be in Kansas City Thursday night for Westwood One Radio.
Oh, thanks for the pop, Dan.
Bring your long johns, pal.
Oh, well, There's a positive and negative, I guess.
Yeah, the negative is 9 degrees forecasted for Thursday.
Did you just check your 10-day forecast on your phone?
7 days.
Hurry. Angles to the outside. Buffalo is out of timeouts. And we're going to hit the 2-minute warning here in Oakland. This season-long celebration for Raider fans. They have been waiting for this for a long time. It's all coming together for the Oakland Raiders. 2 minutes away from improving to 10-2 on the season. Reggie McKenzie in his 5th year at the helm as general manager of the Raiders. What a turnaround this has been. All the pieces fitting into place for Oakland. 2 minutes away from a 6-game winning streak and tie with New England for the #1 seed in the AFC. That's all right. You're Buffalo. You've earned the nap time. This was a tough one. Give it to Murray. It'll be 3rd down for Oakland. So Murray's going to finish. Might get another carry here. 19 carries, 79 yards. 2 touchdowns for Murray. Richard was a major factor. 9 carries for 53 yards and on special teams as well in the return game. Derek Carr, 19 of 35, 260 yards, 2 touchdowns for Carr as he continues to make a case for the MVP award.
And again, it's a strong 4th quarter by Carr, especially the Raiders bouncing back from the start that the Bills had to the second half.
It's Murray. Gets to pad the numbers, goes over 80 yards, hit by Corey Graham, and now it's 4th down. Buffalo cannot stop the clock. We're down to 1 minute left. And a 28-second difference between the play clock and the game clock.
And Derek Carr talking to Bill Vinovich, and we'll probably call a timeout just before the play clock runs out, and they'll bring out Marquette King.
Now this is a Buffalo Bills team that was playing a higher level of defense, but when it mattered, Oakland turned it up a notch.
And
Derek Carr gets a hand from this crowd as he heads to the Oakland sideline. Tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes and the Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, followed by Bull, NCIS Los Angeles, and MacGyver. That's tonight only CBS.
Derek Carr being greeted with the MVP chant from the Raider faithful. Really showed his toughness today. Every snap from the shotgun because of that bad little finger.
From King, no rush. This ball bounces at the 22 and ricochets the other way. It'll be down just inside the 30 with 18 seconds to play. Taylor trots out onto the field. So the Buffalo Bills, it's rough. They had an opportunity here, looking for a signature win. The Bills will fall to 6-6. That's where Tennessee stands. Pittsburgh is on the verge of knocking off the New York Giants to improve to 7-5.
And Miami got smoked today by Baltimore to fall to 7-5. So Bills not out of it.
Final 18 seconds here in Oakland. A rivalry that goes back to the AFL. Taylor. They'll throw it away. 10 seconds remaining. Pressure from Bruce Irvin. Carr will wrap up the day with 260 yards and 2 touchdowns through the air. Anytime he was asked about the pinky all week, he said, "Yep, it's doing fine. Thanks for asking."
Yeah, and his offensive line said, "We'll take care of you." No sacks today on Derek Carr.
The Carr Insurance, as they're known.
Really?
Well, that's the story.
Did you patent that?
No, I have no role in that whatsoever. That's out there. That's a thing.
You are out there. That's right.
Yeah, so are you, my friend. Final 10 seconds. Taylor throws, incomplete. And now 6 seconds remain on the clock. Justin Hunter, the intended receiver. Well, the Bills still alive, but the way things are stacking up, I'm probably going to have to run the table to make it happen. Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Miami, and the Jets still on the schedule for Buffalo, Kansas City, San Diego, Indianapolis, and Denver the rest of the way for Oakland. Final play. Taylor tosses, and McCoy is brought down. By any means, the Oakland Raiders win again. 6 in a row for Oakland, 10-2 overall. They defeat the Bills 38-24, the final. Coming up tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, followed by Bull, NCIS Los Angeles, and MacGyver. For Dan Fouts and Evan Washburn, Ian Eagle saying so long from Oakland. You've been watching the NFL on CBS. Have a great night, everybody.